Hi everyone, my name is March Gigi Eliana from BS Ed English 3B, and I'll be discussing the theory of the novel by Marshall Brown. Theory of the novel. The theory of the novel is by nature more oriented toward practice, which makes the more empirical and pragmatic English and French expressions more worthy of extended notice than is the case for genre theory. Begin with a survey of the situation of the novel and novel theory confronting the first generation of Romantic writers. A common tradition guaranteed a certain commonality of approach, while growing divergences foreground the question of unity. Proceed with the synopsis of leading themes of novel criticism. Mostly link of two famous synthesizing utterances of Friedrich Schlegel. Having defined some common ground, the four most distinctive Romantic contributions, Goethe's comments on the novel in Wilhelm Meister, Friedrich Schlegel's essay on Wilhelm Meister, the novelist John Paul Friedrich Richer's aesthetic primer, and the writings of Walter Scott. Scott's work sums of the tendencies formalized in the German writers and forecast leading concerns of subsequent novel theory. A brief closing consideration of Balzac's preface of the Comédie Humaine characterizes the later destiny of Romantic thinking about the novel. So, the theory of the novel is more focused on practice than on genre theory. This topic surveys the novel and novel theory at the outset of the Romantic writers' first generation. It then moves on the main themes of novel criticism. So, Goethe's view on the novel in Wilhelm Meister, Friedrich Schlegel's essay on Wilhelm Meister, then author John Paul Friedrich Richer's aesthetic primer, and Walter Scott's essay are the four most distinctive or unique Romantic contributions. Also, Scott's work combines the structured tendencies among German writers and suggests key concern in contemporary novel theory. Is novel always about romance? The answer is no. Though in the past eras, even when the novel started, there are countries who are using the skills of writing novel in a romantic way. To support this idea, Marshall Brown stated that Romantic novel theory in particular takes radically different guises in different countries. My chapter, like Tilottama Rajan's, highlights German contributions which are systematic and abstract in ways that are rare in other countries. However, the theory of the novel is by nature more oriented toward practice, which makes the more empirical and pragmatic English and French expressions more worthy of extended notice than is the case for genre theory. A central question is whether it makes sense to speak of Romantic novel theory as a whole, given the radical national differences becoming manifest. So, do novels need romance? Well, people will read a book without romance if the characters are well developed, relatable, and if their issues are important. So some people, on the other hand, enjoy seeing romance or at least some form of intense relationship. As Romantic novel been popularized? So the novel reached its independence in the Romantic period. A great many books we now recognize as novels were, of course, written earlier, but there is little evidence that authors and readers considered the novel to be distinctive form. The novel established itself as the signature poetic form of modernity. So why is the romance genre so popular? Because some people appreciate that the books guarantee a happy ending, while others appreciate the chance to decompress. There are also readers who appreciate romance genre if they can relate or in love. Actually, there are a list of reasons why romance genre is so popular, which explains the reader's devotion. Novel as poetic form of modernity. While literary culture had been largely international, often in one-directional way, of course, literature in the Romantic period was becoming more national and monoglot. National traditions were growing apart just as a theory of the novel started becoming together. The only truly international form of fiction in the Romantic period was the least theorized one, the Gothic novel. Novel expect to be poetic, specifically as romantic novel express emotions that can catch readers' attention. What makes a novel modern? The modern age novel is realistic in nature. A realistic writer considers honesty to observe facts about outside world or his own emotions to be the most important thing, whereas an idealist writer seeks to portray a pleasant picture. In this sense, the modern novelist is realistic. Novels has been distinguished with some of its neighbor form of literature, the poem, epic, and drama. Poem. Brown stated that the novel also becomes poetry. Poetry first of all means craft. The first English reader may think here of a famous epistolary comment by Jane Austen, representing the author as careful maker rather than as casual finder out. The little bit 2 inches wide of ivory on which I work with so fine a brush as produces little effect after much labor. So earlier, it was more characteristic for writings to defend the subject matter and the morality of the novel. So Brown said that the novel also becomes poetry. Drama and epic. Brown stated that the novel is universal. While modernity distinguishes novel from epic, totality distinguishes it from its near neighbor, the drama, which is an applied novel. Totality is a motif whose application varies widely among different romantic critics. For Schlegel, it means first that the novel is comprehensive in its contents, a mirror of the entire surrounding world, a picture of the age, Athenaeum. Second, it is formally comprehensive. In a number of places, Schlegel says that the novel is not genre. It knows no law but encompasses all forms. The novel is universal according to Brown, and according to Schlegel, the novel is complete in its content, and he says that the novel is not a genre because it opposes classification and includes all form. Some of the novel works of other authors. Wilhelm Meister's Apprenticeship, classic Bildungsroman by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, published in German in 4 volumes in 1795 to 96. The Apprenticeship sets forth in the 18th century humanistic ideal of self-education and the development of intellect. The second one is Roderick Random, in full, The Adventures of Roderick Random, Picras novel by Tobias Smollett, published in 1748. The novel consists of series of episodes that give an account of the life and times of the Scottish rogue Roderick Random. At various times, rich and poor, the hero goes to sea, has romantic entanglements, travel the world, discover his long-lost father, and marries his true love. And the third one is Loosened by Friedrich Schlegel von, first published in 1859, is a rare manuscript, and the original is residing in one of the great libraries of the world. This book is a reproduction of that original, which has been scanned and cleared by state-of-the-art publishing tools for better readability and enhanced
Marshall
appreciation.
Brown did just conclude and find out that the relations of romance in novel leave such influences and impacts in some of the authors back then. He also includes that enable for novel to portray realities in life, it must be influenced in some forms of literature. Novels back then and up until now still leave a big impact to the readers, as it has its main goal, and that is to feature reality.